All right, everyone, welcome back. We have another episode here, and honestly, I gotta say, I am a little bit excited about this one. Lots of changes happened, so once again, another update episode on our long journey here from local to global. Let's see, where do I get started? I guess the biggest change here, well, now we're in the year 2008. It's January the 1st, 2008. So it's been 4 years roughly in a couple of months. I think in April, I think it was, we would be here for 4 years now. So, and in that time, uh, we kind of went through the grind to, move up from insignificant to tiny. And now we moved up to small. We are now at small level. I did have my what is it? My massive financial loss under control. I was starting to get profit. I was starting to get money, but some things went wrong. I ended up having to try to do some workarounds here, and I'll explain that in a second. But in order to get ready for the new year and for what I wanted to do and the changes that I wanted to make to the company, I am once again in massive debt and hoping to get my way out again soon. But okay, so I think last time we had two events and a B show. The B show and the events I got picked up on YouTube for broadcasting, which helped with popularity and to get me, going. Um, since we are approaching the new year here, and now we're here at the new year, and I gained the company size level and we moved up to small, I wanted to change the B show to an A show, but I couldn't do that because it was currently being broadcast. So I had to cancel the contract for YouTube for the B show and then change it to an A show once it was off the air. The only problem with that was that once I canceled the B show with YouTube, that contract, I could no longer try to gain another contract and deal with YouTube or anyone else really. Not that I had many options at my size level, but for 3 months it wouldn't let me try to contract a new show. So I took the costly route and I pulled my events from YouTube as well. And instead, what I did was launch my own broadcaster in game here, the VCW network, similar to the WWE network. And so that set me back quite a bit, and I'm losing money crazily again. But hopefully we'll get that under control soon. So, but that's the big news there. That we are now small size. I've got my own broadcaster now where I internet subscription where I broadcast these shows. Um We broadcast the events. I got to redo all the events because I had to clear all the shows too, just to get rid of the old dormant TV show. Had to clear everything. I had to change stuff, but so I have no more events. I did that by accident, but I have no more events. Our TV show is now an A show. I'm gonna be running more. Before, these were more just like monthly events or bi-monthly events, and then I had the B show, so I really wasn't, caring too much about storylines. Plus, storylines didn't really factor that heavily into the company. But I've changed the product. Before it was kind of more like a ruthless aggression era type product, but for TV shows, they wanted the split. See, before it didn't matter because when I was running events, the split was I think like 70% matches, 30% angles, which was fine, whatever. But for TV shows, and it didn't matter because I was only running the B show at the time. But for TV shows, the split was different. They wanted what was it? Like 40% matches and 60% angles or something like that. I don't remember what it was, something crazy. But now that I've changed the TV show to an A show, and we're gonna be running more stricter storylines, actually get things going there. Um, I changed the product. and the product I now do like classic sports entertainment, which is I don't know, I guess more uh match focused rather than the angle focused for the TV shows. And the split for the events now isn't that bad either. It's pretty similar to what it used to be, so that didn't really change much. So I'm excited about that, happy about that, how that's going to go. I've also added the Intercontinental title, and our inaugural champion is Drew Galloway. So now we have a secondary belt for the mid-carders to fight over. Roster changes. I don't think I got too many. I did add some new people, but not like big names or anything I believe would be of interesting note or, people. I did pick up John Moxley. I don't know if he was in the last video, but I've got Mox here now looking wonderful with that hair. Let me see. I don't think I have anybody else newer that I need to specifically point out to you guys, but yeah, we still have a great roster. So now the real grind begins. Um, oh, the TV show is going to be every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, not in real life, but in game. Every Tuesday, we run VCW Showdown. And tonight is the first inaugural show as the A show, also. But now the real grind begins because to get up to the medium size level, which is where we really want to get to on our way to global, because that's like medium is really like the larger companies. Um, I can start locking down people to exclusive contracts. Other things open up to me. I think training facilities or I don't know, but lots of things open up. Exciting times. But to get there, I need 59 in my home region, which I only have 35 at the moment. Plus, I need to have 35 in either one of the two, either the Mid-Atlantic or New England, which right now, as we can see, I have 14 in each. So either way, it's going to be a grind to raise this to 59 and to raise one of these to 35. But I'm confident now with the ATV show, with our own broadcaster, even though I'm hemorrhaging money. Um, and of course, the great roster of people that we have here, I could make this. I can make this happen. We can continue on our journey from local to global and move up. It's going to take a bit, but we're going to get there. But yeah, so there's that part. It's wrestlers of the year. Rob Van Dam won it for the second time. Who's the woman? Let's see, China, Joni Laurer. WWE's no surprise there. Match of the year. What's that? Kurt Angle and Rob Van Dam over Los Guerreros on a Raw from January of last year. Wow. Show of the year, WrestleMania 23. All right, so there we have it. There's that. I'm gonna go ahead and book our first inaugural A show, VCW Showdown, the first one here of the new year. And I'll get back to you in just a moment. All right, here we are. The first VCW Showdown being broadcast on our VCW network. And, excuse me. In a pre-show match, pre-show match, we have Ty Weed versus Alicia. Now, for the pre-shows, obviously, they're not going to get that much into storylines because they're just pre-show matches. And, yeah. But it had little heat and embarrassing wrestling. But despite that, the crowd heat is expectant and simmering. Let's see what we got. Wrestling, they did a 21. Crowd, as we saw, really wasn't that into it with a 17 for an overall of 23. Next, another pre-show match. Hydra versus Jake Hager. Ooh, abysmal match. Jake Hager picking up the win. Oh, did we even say who won the last match? I forgot to check. Oh, well. Wrestling 20, crowd rating 10, segment 21. All right, let's start the show proper. Oh, in front of 176 people. Okay. Um, we have an interview, backstage interview with the Briscoe brothers set to defend their tag titles here tonight. And so they have an interview with Sophie just saying how, they plan on keeping the tag team titles. Poor 5-minute interview, but the crowd heat at the end of that was hot and rising, and it got the show off to a strong start, and it got the crowd hotter. So despite it being abysmal, it was the way to go. Segment did a 41, so that's good. Here we are, tag team matchup, tag team titles on the line. We have the newly debuting Models Inc., which would be Memphis and Michael Reigns here, up against the Briscoe brothers. Subpar wrestling, little heat. The Briscoe brothers retain their titles, defense number 6 of those tag titles. Crowd heat at the end of that, white hot. Wrestling was a 35. Crowd was only a 19. Segment did a 34. All right, that's not bad. 5-minute interview. It was average. It was it was Daphne cutting a promo on Beth Phoenix. And the crowd at the end of that was very hot. So Daphne, just recently captured the women's title from Beth Phoenix. And as you can imagine, Beth Phoenix has been waiting for her time to get her get a rematch for her title, and she decided here on the very first VCW showdown being broadcast that that was the time. So here she is, and let's see how she fared. Daphne versus Beth Phoenix, VCW women's title. Decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Beth Phoenix takes back her title and new VCW women's champion, Beth Phoenix. By pinfall. Okay, crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Wrestling did a 38, crowd was a 28, and segment did a 39. That's crazy. Drew Galloway and Sheamus here. It was a backstage brawl. It was awful 5 minutes. Crowd heat at the end of that was still very hot. It says we needed more star power. I guess 5 minutes was too long for them. I guess I should have moved it down a little since they were brawling, but whatever. Segment did a 26. Okay, and here they are for the IC title, the Intercontinental. Sheamus versus the champion, Drew Galloway. Had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Sheamus takes down the champ and new Intercontinental champion, Sheamus. Despite how bad it did, the crowd heat at the end of it was still very hot, which that's what I care about primarily. Keep momentum going, or at least up there. Wrestling did a 23. Crowd rating, abysmal, only a 10. Segment rating did a 25. Backstage interview, Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson has been defending this title. I think he's trying to catch up to the incredible reign of CM Punk. I forgot what it was, but I think it was like 20-something defenses or something like that. But Bryan Danielson is trying to get up there. Jon Moxley, ever since he showed up, has been a thorn in the side of Bryan Danielson, either just at ringside, being a distraction during matches, or sometimes even actually getting involved in the matches. When he first showed up, he did get a title match, and he obviously did not win that, which is why he's been a constant thorn in the side of Bryan Danielson. So finally tonight, Bryan said, enough is enough. I'm giving you a title shot, and, I'm going to win. So I hope you can cope with that. And crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Segment rating did a 54, probably the highest of the night. All right, main event time. Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson for the VCW Heavyweight Championship. It was a decent match. Bryan Danielson picking up the win again by submission. Defense number 12 for Brian Danielson. Good for him. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Wrestling was a 48, crowded a 26 with a 58 segment rating. Let's finish the show here. We increased our popularity in 11 regions. So our popularity in a lot of the smaller regions is going up faster now that I have that very expensive broadcaster network that I own. So that's a big plus there to help us on this grind to get these popularity points that we need. But there we have it. Let's check. Oof, I'm almost scared to look at the financials, but let's see what they say. What is it? Oh, I made no. Okay, post-show finances. I lost $5,819. So there we have it. Popularity. Let's check that. Yeah, nothing really moved, but this is thanks to the broadcaster. I'm starting to get points. See, like places where I didn't have any, like the Southwest, Puerto Rico, Hawaii. So that's a little bit exciting, you know. All right, let's see. TNA adopt a new style. Classic sports entertainment. Yeah, yeah, sounds about right. What else? Okay, let's see what we got from mail. Bobby Eaton opinion. Drew Galloway is money. Strap a rocket to him. All right, all right. Sarah Del Rey and Ricochet have started dating. Hulkamania increased their live event experience. Good for them. Here we go. On our new network, we got 3,110 viewers for our inaugural VCW showdown. So I'm really happy about that. That's good numbers for us. Let's see. What is this? Somebody asking for more money? Yup, CM Punk. What does he want? Just 60 more dollars? Yeah, yeah, why not? Let's do that. I'm already massively in debt anyways, so that's fine. That's fine. But let's take a look at what was his title reign, his second one. 20 defenses. Brian Danielson working his way up to that with 12 so far. Will he make the other 8? I don't know. So far, I think there's only one title match that I've actually picked out the winner and specified a winner, and that was one of the women's matches. Um, so these other title matches, it's been, whatever the computer picks, I guess, whatever. But so that's why we've only had 2 champions. They're both two-time champions, and they're both similar, 189 days and 182 days, both of them 5 defenses. CM Punk's second reign, 630 days, 20 defenses. So far, Danielson has 255 days of 12 defenses. So CM Punk had when he had such a long title reign, 630 days with that defenses, that's when I think I was only running monthly events. Brian Danielson has now had his championship for quite a few schedule changes from events to monthly events and then the B show to now just one event a month and one show every week. So his numbers might be skewed a little bit later on depending on how far he makes it. So he might get to 20 or higher before he ever gets anywhere close to 630 days. So we'll see how his reign lasts. But that was it. That's been all the good changes, all the big changes, lots of them. And that was our first show on our stupid expensive broadcaster network. And I'll see you. Oh, hold on. Let's see. What do they say about us here? That the show was pretty good all around. Good, good, good. In front of 176 fans. We get a bigger turnout for the events when I was running the monthly events in terms of fans showing up, but that's whatever. Um, Yeah, I'll see you guys because I'm going to run the second show of next week, and I'll see you then. All right, here we are for the second show. What is this? Tuesday, January 8th of 2008. VCW Showdown. We got 179 people in the building, so there we go. That's good. Kicking off the show, we got Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson making a return after a lengthy hiatus. He says he's back and he's ready to recommit himself, and he says he's ready to, scratch and claw his way to the top of the mountain. So there we go. It got the show off to a strong start. Heat at the end of that is hot and rising, and we got a 47. Good. Uh, Poor match, though. Didn't have a good match. Ken Anderson versus Brody Lee. In a poor match, Brody Lee picking up the win over a returning Ken Anderson. So things not going Ken's way so far on his first day back. Crowd heat at the end of that was white hot, though. They have great chemistry together. So I'm probably gonna pair them up and they're gonna work together, and we'll get a storyline working with them because they're doing good. So good to know that. And the match got the crowd hotter. For wrestling, they did a 37. Crowd, we got a 23. And segment, we did a 38. Here we have a video package. Unfortunately, it's an awful 5-minute video package, but it's on our first and newly formed stable, the Center of Excellence, with, the leader, CM Punk. And then we got members Daphne, Jay, and Mark Briscoe, and Paul Burchill. So crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Segment rating 23. CM Punk, once again, leader of a heel stable. Well, I guess in this world it wouldn't be once again, since he hasn't gone on to form the Straight Edge Society yet. Or did he? When did he form the Straight Edge Society? After 2008? I don't remember. Offhand, I don't know. I don't know where my phone is right now, so I'm not going to check. But there we have it. Crowd heat at the end of that, very hot. Segment rating did a 23. Oh, we have a turn. Okay. Oh, yeah. Change his gimmick. There you go. All right. Next up, we have a promo with Dorian DeVille. He says as soon as his tag team partner Eric Redbeard gets healthy again and comes back, they are going for the tag team titles, and he just wanted to put the rest of the tag team division on notice. And he came with me with an idea that he wanted to use, a creative idea, and as we see here, it was a failure. So I was willing to give him the chance to try it, but it didn't work out for him. But still, crowd heat at the end was very hot. Segment, we did a 25, so I'm still happy with that. I mean, I would have liked it better if his idea would have worked, but whatever. I gave him the opportunity, and that's just life. Next, the Amazing Aces versus Models Inc. And it was a terrible match. Oof. Amazing Aces picking up the win here over Models Inc. Crowd heat at the end was still very hot, so that's good. Wrestling to the 31. The crowd was bad. They only gave it a 15. And our segment was at 36. We have a match here. Mia Martinez versus Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix putting her title on the line. Not much heat. Terrible wrestling. Beth Phoenix, that's no surprise. I didn't pick her to win. Like, I didn't put it down when I was booking the show. I just let it be whatever the road agent thought. But no surprise here. Beth picking up the win. Her first defense of the women's title. Congratulations to Beth. Crowd at the end of that was very hot. Wrestling is a 28. Crowd is a 20. And segment, we got a 32. So, all right. Daphne comes out after the match and she says she wants a rematch for the women's title that she recently lost. She says it was a fluke. It was pure, luck. There's no way that Beth could pull it off again, and she's going to be looking for Beth next week. She wants a title shot. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. And we got a 57. Wow, that's pretty high for our segment rating. Here we have members of the Center of Excellence beating down Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal and CM Punk have been butting heads recently, and I guess Punk put his crew to work now that he formed his little cult there, and they beat down Jay Lethal. So the crowd heat at the end of that was very hot, and segment did a 53. Here we have Johnny Gargano versus Sheamus, non-title match. Bout had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Oof. Sheamus picked up the win. Okay. I was gonna, if Johnny would have won here, I was gonna give him a title shot at some point down the road, maybe at the next event. But we'll have to keep searching for another number one contender because Sheamus took him out. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Wrestling was a 25. Excuse me. Crowd was only an 11, really bad. And our segment was a 28. Here we have a backstage beatdown. Oh no, it's a brawl. Okay, they're brawling each other. Getting into a bit of a scuffle. Cody Rhodes, Prince Devitt, who are again are trying to hash out their own issues here. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot, but segment was only a 30. Okay. So if well, let's see, did he I was gonna say if he wins this match tonight, it was a tag team matchup here. Bryan Danielson was getting tired of Jon Moxley constantly interfering in his title matches, so he's like, look, find yourself a tag partner. I'll find one. If you win tonight, then I'll give you a title shot. You're next in line for the title, but otherwise, you need to buzz off. And Jon Moxley accepted, so we'll see how this goes. Jon Moxley has teamed up with Tyler Black, while Bryan Danielson has recruited Eddie Kingston to help him out. So decent match. Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston pick up the win. Let's see who pinned who. And Bryan Danielson pinned Tyler Black. Okay, so Jon Moxley could say, hey, I know what I agreed to, but you didn't pin me. You pinned the guy I picked as my partner, whatever. We'll see where this goes, but so far, Bryan Danielson is picking up the wins here. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Wrestling did a 41. Crowd only a 26. Segment did a 53. Let's finish off the show here. We increased our popularity in 11 regions. It's crazy when they say some of these people were overused when I only used them once or whatever. That's insane. That's fine. That's okay. Let's finish the show. The financials I'm afraid to look at. Let's see. Yeah. Overall loss, negative 6,000 for a negative 70,000 total. But our popularity, though, okay, we picked up some in the Midwest and the Southeast. We went up. No change in our home state. Remember, we're grinding to try to get to medium level company. So we need to raise this to, I think, 59 is what I said. And then either the Mid-Atlantic or New England, we need to get that up to 35. So not the ones we wanted to move up, but hey, I'll take it. Any popularity increase is good for the company, which is what we want here because I need to get out of this massive debt that I'm in. All right, let's see what they say here. Feedback pretty good, especially for a company of our size. Good. Hannah Blossom and Ethan Page have started dating. Good for them. VCW Showdown. We got 3,062 viewers. That's really good. I'm happy with that. So yeah, there we have it. We've moved into our new era where I now have a TV show and my stupidly expensive broadcaster to broadcast it out to the people. We've got our event once a month. What is that? Next one coming up is on the 27th. That's the last Sunday of the month here. What is it? Kings of Wrestling. What number is it going to be? Number 18. Kings of Wrestling 18. All right. So exciting things going on in the company. We're really starting to build momentum. We're moving up. The only really issue I have still is I'm hemorrhaging money left and right. So we'll have to figure something out there, balance things out. Maybe in a couple of months' time, I'll get rid of the network or the broadcaster, the stupidly expensive broadcaster that I invested in. And because in 3 months' time, I should be able to try to get my shows on to regular networks like YouTube, or what was the other company that was going to give me a shot if it wasn't for the 3 month delay? I don't remember, but we'll see. We'll figure something out. We're moving on, and yeah, that was that. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you guys. As always, take care and hopefully see you next time.